What is going on, fam? We back. You know the vibes. We're back to do this all over again. I'm actually on YouTube. Or not YouTube. I'm always on YouTube now. I'm actually on Instagram Live. Yeah, I just realized it's been a while since I've done an Instagram Live. So we're going to do both. We're going to do it all. You know how the vibes are. So what today, stuff that we wanted to talk about. We're going to go over the practice, things like that. Most likely going to be Q&A, stuff like that, all that good stuff. Let's start off with the Joe Staley news. Let's go. Joe Staley is back. We got the Staley back. So he is now on the media side of things. He will be working for NBC Sports Bay Area. So we got him back. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got Staley. He's not as a coach, but hell, I don't care as long as he's around this franchise, this facility. Hell yeah, let's go. We could use all the Staley we can get. Doesn't matter that he's retired. Joe Staley is the epitome of 49ers legend. So, you know the vibes. We're super happy to have Joe Staley back. He's going to be covering this team. I don't know exactly the capacity in which he will be with NBC Sports Bay Area, but he is with them, and that is all we can ask for at this time. So super, super happy. This hat is from Residency. Shout out Residency, getting your boy right. I posted them on the story a couple times. Go check out their Instagram. It's legit. You'll like it. Who has the hats? Residency. Hit up Residency. They got you. They got you. Hit up Residency. They're getting everyone right. Hit them up. The hats are sick, though. The hats are really, really sick. Every time I get on here, just like the hat. So I had to bring it out again. So Residency got the hat. Joe Staley is back. And it's Raider week. It is Raider week. You know, when Raider week comes around, we get all hyped up here in the Bay Area. I mean, you see all the stuff behind me. I got the Battle of the Bay flag from the last time. I think that was 2018. The 34-3 Bay champions. It's Raider week. So I don't care that it's preseason. I'm treating this like a regular season game. We're in regular season form around here, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. We're not playing around. We don't play with the Raiders. I don't care if it's a preseason game. We're going to come out and punch them in the face. I really don't care. So I'm excited for that. We got Raiders this weekend. Let's do a quick run through of some of the stuff from practice today. I don't want to get too bogged down into practice. I'm kind of over that stage of this off season. We're just getting ready and preparing for the Raiders and preparing for the regular season. So list of non-participants today in practice. This is from Nick Wagner, ESPN. He said that Jason Verrett, Jawan Jennings, who was working on the side with the heel, those two weren't working. Out with the team in team periods. Devontae Harris, cornerback. He hasn't been working. Safety Kai Nakua, he had that really nice sack against the Chargers. Guard Aaron Banks, he's out shoulder. O-lineman Jalen Moore didn't practice today. Interesting. But he was said to be off to the side running. And then defensive tackle Maurice Hurst, we understand he has a high ankle. He's going to be sidelined for about a month. So just based off that list, obviously Jason Verrett, if he doesn't play against the Raiders, I won't be super upset about it. I won't be super upset about it. Jason Verrett is a Raider fan. He is a Raider fan, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind going and playing that game. But that being said, we don't want to risk Jason Verrett out there getting any more dinged up than he needs to be. Hopefully, it's just precautionary. We don't know the extent of it. Dre Greenlaw didn't participate in team drills, although he was available in practice. Marcel Harris got some first team reps today at linebacker, so that's nice. I see a lot of Jalen Hurd questions. So today was the second day in a row Jalen Hurd practiced. He's been back at practice, so that's good news. Sounds like Jalen Hurd should be suited up for the Raiders game. I'd imagine he'd get quite a bit of run against the Raiders as well. So we'll take a look at that. But we have D Ford back, we have Bosa back, we have Sosa back. It's looking good. It's looking good. I know we had the injuries early. We had Jeff Wilson with the going to PUP early with the meniscus tear. He's been on the field rehabbing, looking nice, so that's good. And then, of course, we know what happened with Tarbarius Moore. The interesting thing with Tarbarius Moore and what I've been learning with the IR rules, the 49ers did not place him on IR. If they were to place him on IR during the preseason or offseason, he would not be able to return. So as it is designated right now, Tarbarius Moore can return. So something to watch. Jaquiski Tart is back. Jaquiski Tart off the PUP. Let's go. We're getting our boys back. That's all we can ask for. And that was what Kyle talked about at the beginning of OTAs. He talked about the beginning of training camp. His number one goal is to get this team as healthy as possible on its way to week 1, and we are close. We are very, very close to week 1. So that is good news. I saw some weird stuff with Raheem Mostert. I saw a video that the fantasy football doctor put together. He's a doctor who actually talks about fantasy, and he talks about it through the lens of injury and how it relates to fantasy. Apparently, from a report from Cam Inman, I guess Mostert pulled up and was grabbing at his back or something like that. And so that caused this video to come out, and then people thinking Raheem Mostert had a back injury. Devin Mostert, his wife, kind of refuted that report, saying that she got hit up by family members that, what's going on with your boy, with Mostert. I guess it was not a ton. I believe Raheem Mostert was back at practice today. So sounds like a non-issue. Based on everything. Mostert, from everything I've read, was back at practice today. I haven't seen too much regarding Mostert, if there was limitations, if he was held out. So if that changes, of course, we will update accordingly. But he was back. So that's good news. We need Mostert. You guys know I'm big on Mostert. I've been a big champion of Mostert, not getting rid of Mostert, keeping Mostert here. I know a lot of people felt that Trey Sermon was going to have a runaway chance at taking a lot of first team reps, which he will. But I think it's very important to have these two guys, Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell. I mean, even Wayne Gallman and or JaMychal Hasty. We need these boys. We need these boys out here. I love the tandem of Mostert and Sermon because we know what Mostert is. We know Mostert's one cut and go. He's going to find that hole. He's going to hit it with perfect timing, and he's going to use that freaking lightning speed to punch through that hole and break huge runs. Then what I love about that, too, is you bring in Trey Sermon right after Raheem Mostert runs a chunk run, get Raheem Mostert on the sideline, take a deep breath, and just plow it down their throats in between the tackles with Trey Sermon, or do a play action boot or something like that. So I love what both bring to the table. I've talked about having the stack of Mostert and Trey Sermon in fantasy football because I really think we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see Raheem Mostert just rip those chunk yardage plays. We just rip them. And then Trey Sermon's going to come in, pick up the the 2 to 3 yard, move the chains type of guy. But the other thing with Trey Sermon is also a stud out of the backfield as a receiver. So all kinds of different things we can do with all these different guys. Obviously, we've seen what Hasty's been capable of. We've seen what Gallman is capable of. And if you've been at practice, which I know a lot of you haven't, Elijah Mitchell is very capable as well. Elijah Mitchell's been back at practice from my understanding, which is good. So we might be able to get to see a little bit of him run in this preseason. I wouldn't mind. I like Elijah a lot. I like Elijah Mitchell a lot. I think he has a place on this team. But with Kyle Shanahan and him not playing in the last 2 preseason games, I'm wondering. I wouldn't advise for it, but I'm wondering what happens if you don't play Elijah in this last game and you somehow try to get him on the practice squad. Again, I don't advise for it because I feel like he would get picked up immediately. So it's a thought, but I don't advise for it. I don't want to play that game, especially with what's going on with the Rams. AZ needs running backs. Seattle needs running backs. Don't want to let any of our running backs go, but we're going to have to let go, I think, of at least one based on how our roster stacks, based on how Kyle Shanahan has worked this stuff in the past. So we'll see. But if the 49ers somehow cut Elijah Mitchell to try and get him to revert back to the practice squad and he gets picked up by Seattle, I will cry. I will probably cry. So don't want that. Final cuts come, I believe, Tuesday. So on Tuesday, after the Raider game, we will start preparing for final cuts, which is always a really hard day on this page because, we love our guys. We do. So it's tough. It's tough to see some of them go, but we understand it's a business. They understand it's a business, transactional stuff, all that good stuff. So it has its moments of positivity when some do hit, and make the roster and scrap it out and make it. Sometimes it hurts the other way when they don't. So we're prepared. We're ready for our boys. We're here for you guys. So majority, though, is pretty much what I want to talk about. So I'm going to kick it back to you guys. So this is going to be a Q&A episode for the next about 20, 30 minutes. I'll let you guys ask me questions, and then we'll get this going. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, and if you've been to one of these Q&As before, of course, super chats get the priority. But until then, we're just going to keep going. So if you guys have questions, drop them in and let's talk. I haven't chatted with you guys in a while. Where did I get that hat? Residency. Look up residency. Do I agree with Steve Young on starting Lance? So if you guys hadn't seen it, Steve Young on ESPN basically came on the network and talked about Trey Lance, his ability, talking about he's ready to start week 1, all of those things. Obviously, if you guys have been... All right, I'm pinning this. There we go. There we go. So the question is, I believe, do I agree with Steve Young? Yeah, the question is, do you agree with Steve Young on starting Lance? In a vacuum, So in a vacuum of Trey Lance, just Trey Lance, I think Trey Lance has proven, for me, when it comes to quarterbacks, I really want to understand that the quarterback understands the offense. He knows how to operate it. He knows how to get in and out post snap, verbiage in the huddle, do all those tiny things, take snaps under center, work play action. We saw early on in the process at training camp, there was a little bit of a situation where we were seeing a couple fumbles start to stack in regards to the mesh point of the zone read. So, obviously we want to ensure all those things are tightened up and buttoned up as much as possible. But all those things considered, I absolutely think Trey Lance is ready to start week one. Again, this is coming from Trey Lance in a vacuum. This has nothing to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm only talking about Trey Lance. If I look, and this, if you go back to all my draft coverage, if you go back to those 4 months leading up to the draft, check my tweets, all that kind of stuff, you will see that I have believed, and for a long time, that Trey Lance was arguably the most pro-ready quarterback prospect in this class based on the offense he run at North Dakota State, what they had him do as a 19-year-old, again, pre-post snap, taking snaps under center, play action, making reads. You're seeing all that translate already as a 21-year-old. So with what he was able to do from OTAs all the way to now, which is preseason, training camp, and what he's done to make his way through that, Trey has absolutely shown me that he's capable of starting. He showed me that, I think, the second day of training camp. So the first day I went, it was non-padded practice. I would say that the what I saw from both Jimmy and Trey they're about even. Both a little bit inconsistent. Both made good throws. But in regards to overall evaluation, they felt around the same. But that second day of pads, I'll never forget it. I saw Kyle essentially unleash Trey, and it was just it was just like a different, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. The defense couldn't stop Trey. They couldn't stop the zone read. They couldn't do much of anything. And then the first ever rep that Trey Lance got was a designed quarterback counter with Mike McGlinchey as the lead blocker, and he busted probably a 50-yard gain that if it was contact, he could have scored on it. So Trey has shown me all throughout this process that he's capable of starting. Trey can start right away. Trey can start right away and be successful. But that's the thing, is we have a quarterback on this team. We have a veteran in Jimmy Garoppolo who is here, who is holding down the starting spot. And it appears that Kyle Shanahan wants him to get first crack at it. And I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. I still believe that Trey Lance is more than capable of starting week one, 100%. Again, both things can be true. I can absolutely believe in my heart that Trey Lance is ready to go. I do. I believe he's ready to go. If Jimmy wasn't here, then I think we'd having a lot different conversations. But the fact of the matter is, Jimmy is here. Jimmy has been performing. Jimmy has, been cleaning some things up in camp. We still see some of the inconsistencies, but for the most part, he's doing pretty well, and he's holding it down. I think if it was obvious at this point, I think Kyle would have made a decision, would have made a change, or what have you. So I'm okay. I'm okay with Trey not starting week one. Again, doesn't change the fact that I absolutely believe in my heart that Trey Lance is more than capable of starting week one and being successful immediately. Like, I'm talking about right away. Like, we're talking offensive rookie of the year hype. We're talking all that kind of stuff. But again, we have Jimmy. We have a veteran. This locker room supports him. They rally around him. So I have zero problems with Jimmy Garoppolo starting week 1. Again, doesn't change the fact that I think Trey is you get what I'm saying. I've said it like 5 times already. Thoughts on Craycraft being cut? That hurt. That's my boy. You guys know I liked him a lot. It was one of the things that I saw right away in camp, though. Clearly in camp, one of the biggest takeaways is they just don't get a ton of reps. There's just not a ton of reps to go around. There's so many players. There's 90-man rosters. There's first, second, third string, especially with wide receivers. They're pretty deep. So, and in regards to like when you have Trey going out there, so the difference with when Trey goes out on the field with the second unit, so is Deebo Samuel, so is George Kittle, so is Brandon Ayuk, so is Trent Sherfield, so is Mohamed Sanu. So even though Trey is running with the seconds, the ones are still running with the second group, which isn't typical. Typical, if you're running twos, it's twos, which gives the second string more opportunity. But what was interesting about this year's training camp is the ones were running with the twos because of Trey. I still think, like I've talked about many times, what makes it first string is the offensive line. But from a quarterback perspective, it's much harder to build a rapport with your wide receivers and tight ends and people who are catching the ball and running routes and you have to throw to than it is to build a rapport with the offensive line. In fact, it's more of the opposite. It's kind of like a trial by fire, which is what we've seen. We've seen Trey have to learn on the fly, and I'm starting to wrap my head around of what Kyle is doing. I'm starting to wrap my head around of what Kyle is doing. I've been kind of all over the place with it, but I'm understanding it, and I'm starting to come around to it. I've been, like I said, I've been all over the place. I've been all over the place. It's been a long off season. There's been a lot of information. I've been going through different like tinfoil hat after tinfoil hat, but I understand it. I get it. It makes sense. It makes sense. I get it now. I get it. So with that being said, if Jimmy starts week 1, it makes sense to me. I get it. I still think Trey Lance is capable of starting week 1 and being successful. But again, we have Jimmy Garoppolo here, and he's been performing good enough to be able to hold it down. So Jimmy starting week 1, I'm okay with it. Absolutely okay with it. Next question. What do we got? Will Hufanga be starting this year? Ooh, Coach, I see you. I'm coming back to you, Coach. Will Hufanga be starting this year? I think he'll start this year. Again, with Tart coming back right now, I think it delays Hufanga starting. I think there will be an opportunity where Hufanga starts and or gets a decent amount of playing time. But I think right now, especially with Tart coming back, the way Tavon Wilson has been performing, I will go ahead and say Hufanga will start, but we're going to go ahead and kick that can down the road a bit. We're just going to kick it down the road a little bit because I think Tart is hungry. I think Tart is motivated. I've spoke to some people who are in direct contact with Tart, and they're saying that he's ready to go. He's chomping at the bit. He's very motivated. He's ready. He's ready to go. So I'm excited to see what Tart does. I am. So that's another safety that comes into the mix that plays that kind of more in the box type strong safety role. So I think it just pushes Hufanga back a bit. I think he'll start eventually, but we'll see. There's no rush. I can see my internet's going wild. What else is new? My internet sucks, man. All right, the coach, my guy. The coach always coming through. Always coming through, coach. So let's see. What does the coach have for me today? The coach says Trey being able to start and Trey being ready to start are two different things. Why the rush? Honestly, we don't gain anything from throwing him out there. Bang. Coach, that's why you're one of my favorite contributors to the show. You're preaching facts. And then this is one of the things that I've come around of late. Shout out my guy Jordan from Niners Nation. He said something on the Sprint Ride Option podcast with Jason Aponte, Andrew Pasquini yesterday, where I was just like, and he was talking about order of operations and a lot of what coach you're talking about. Uh, Trey is ready. Trey could go right now. That's not the question. It isn't the question. He could go right now and be successful. But like we said, we have Jimmy here. We don't have to rush Trey in. We don't. There is no rush because we have a extremely capable quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo here on this roster doing his job right now. So we're going to let him keep doing his job. And guess what? If there becomes a situation where there's an injury, he's not performing, what have you, X, Y, and Z variable occurs, we have Trey Lance just there. So I understand both sides of it, but I've really again, shout out my guy Jordan. It really just he so eloquently put the points together. There is no reason to rush. Like, especially when you have Jimmy. So because of those reasons, because what's the flip side of that? Again, this is all Jordan who really planted the seed in my head. But what's the flip side of that? Okay, you go out and you roll out Trey. Again, Trey's a rookie. He's still going to have those rookie struggles. We understand that. It's important to understand that. But not everyone understands that. Especially if you are on one of these sides of the quarterback. If you are on the Jimmy side, you're going to be, and Trey starting week 1, they are just going to any intercept. It's the same thing. It's both ways. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. So let's go out and let's use the reliable veteran, the reliable quarterback, the guy who's been in this league, the guy who's been to a Super Bowl. He's literally led this team to a Super Bowl. He deserves first crack. He deserves the shot to start week 1. With everything he's been through, like there's so many moving parts. It's not just a matter of deserving, right? It's not just deserving to start. There's so many factors in play. But I think with how Jimmy has played in this preseason, in training camp, I feel absolutely okay if Jimmy is going out there and starting. And that's how we go and operate. Because on the flip side, if Trey goes out there and let's say he struggles, it's a lot weirder of a situation to go back to Jimmy and then go. It's just it becomes an interesting situation, which is what I don't want. So I think the best thing to do right now is, and the best thing for the team is, let's rock with Jimmy. Let's roll with Jimmy. He's the veteran. He's been here. The locker room supports him. And that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. So with that being the case, just like Coach said, why the rush? Why the rush? We know Trey's good. We know Trey's capable. We know he can do it. Why the rush, though? Why the rush? Because if Jimmy comes in and wins us games, what are we complaining about? We're complaining about nothing. Because at the end of the day, as fans, what we should care about most are the W's. That's it. We just care about the dubs. Give us the dubs. We want the dubs. Dubs only. Especially against the Raiders coming up. We want those dubs only. Dubs only. So, all right. Good question, Coach. As always. Great thoughts, as always. Shout out, coach. All right, who's next? Oh, he's back. My guy's back. The coach says once Trey starts, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's over. We got to ride with him the whole way, or it's a slap in the face to Jimmy. Preach, coach. This is why coach is one of the best. And he comes with the fire analogy of, yeah, you can't put toothpaste back into the tube. It's almost impossible. And if you're trying to, you're crazy. And that's the thing. We got to see what Jimmy is. We got to give Jimmy the opportunity. He deserves the opportunity to go out and continue to hold it down. I really, really believe that. So Jimmy, again, he came out yesterday. He was asked the question, who's going to be the starting quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And, he said, I had a pretty good idea with that big smile on his face. So I think that's where it's headed. And I would say even if Trey Lance comes out and just demolishes the Raiders, which I think is a very possible outcome, I just feel like, again, like coach said, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Like, we can't do this flip-flop and like get into this groove of going back and forth. We got to be consistent. We got to move through this order of operations as the way it should be operated. So I think it's a lot more than just looking at these two players in a vacuum saying, oh, we like this player better than that player. There's so much more to that. There's so much more that goes into this. So I'm really, again, to coach's point, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Rock with Jimmy week 1. And let's see what we got. I mean, come on. What if he comes out and just lights it up? What if he comes out and lights it up? What if he just destroys Detroit? Like, let's give him a shot. Give him a shot. We got to give Jimmy a shot. We can't just feed him to the wolves like that. We can't. We got to give him a shot. All right. Shout out, coach. The coach is a man, dude. Let's see. Second. Let's see. Oh, man. Let's see. What do we got? I'm looking through my million different things. Am I going to the game, the Raider game? Probably. Probably going to be at the Raider game. I got to go. I can't not go. I was at the last one, the 34-3 whooping. I can't go. I can't not go. Can't not go. Oh, here's one. The real AD asks, what are my thoughts on Charlie Warner? So Charlie Warner, he was one of those guys like River Craycraft, where it just didn't feel like he was getting a ton of reps, like in team period. Just felt like he was buried, felt like he wasn't getting a ton of run. But he's getting a ton of run in preseason. Charlie Warner's getting a ton of run in preseason. And one of the things that I keep noticing about Charlie Warner, again, is he's a great blocker. He is like, I know that was the thing with Charlie coming out of Georgia when we selected him in the draft. He's a blocker first, extremely minimal receiving stats. But I like Warner. I like him as a blocker. I really do. I saw a couple plays where he had to go basically take this crazy angle to block the Mike linebacker, and he got there and he held it, and the running back runs right off his butt. And I'm just like, what more can you ask for? That's exactly what you're asking for out of a tight end and blocking situations that you have to have. Because if he doesn't make that block, then Mike makes the tackle, plays over. So I like Charlie Warner. I think he actually has the leg up over Matthews because of the blocking. Matthews is 100% the better receiving option at tight end. I don't think that is too much of a debate, just of course based on Matthews' experience as a wide receiver. But Charlie Warner as a blocker is really damn good for this team. So I like Charlie Warner, and I might want to keep him around. It's going to be interesting to see if he makes the roster, because Michael Pruitt, who we saw for the first time against the Chargers, he hadn't played all camp. He hasn't been. He's been hurt, I believe. So, but Michael Pruitt's got like $1 million, I think, like close to $1 million guaranteed coming his way. So again, John Lynch said, I'll never forget what John Lynch said. I'll never forget this quote that John Lynch said. I think it really clicked for me and how I cover and I interpret moves and signings. What John Lynch said was, he was talking about the locker room. He was talking about how the locker room views him and Kyle. And this was in a press conference. He said that locker room, they don't care what we say. We could come up here, talk to the media, say all these different things. At the end of the day, he said that locker room doesn't care what we say. That locker room cares who we pay. I went, bing, light bulb. Again, part of the discussion with, okay, well, what does that mean for Michael Pruitt, who got paid? So those are the things that we're looking at. A guy like Charlie Warner, who could be cut for relatively little money, or do they go with Michael Pruitt, who got paid? He actually got paid and is getting some guaranteed money. So I don't know. But based on availability and based on what I've seen, that should absolutely go to Warner, because Michael Pruitt hasn't played. He played his first game. I hadn't seen him practice at all, so I don't know. The jury's out on Michael, and he's not going to be up to speed. He's behind the 8 ball. So it's a hard one to judge. It's a hard one to judge, but I like Warner. I like his blocking. I think he is deserving of a roster spot over at Matthews at this point, just because Matthews isn't as good as a blocker. And we need blocking tight ends. We need tight ends who can block. Dwelley can block. Pruitt was a good blocker at Tennessee, and Warner's a good blocker. So, Coach Timo, my guy, appreciate you. He said, Jalen Hurd back at practice. Do you think he makes the team on the 53-man roster or practice squad? I'm pulling for him. I'm pulling for Jalen Hurd too. But I will say this. About Jalen Hurd. His practice availability for me doesn't lend itself to feel very confident about his ability to make the roster. I think for him to really make the roster, he would have to come out against the Raiders and just look ungodly. He would have to look like, I don't know, like Cowboys 2019 preseason Jalen Hurd. 2 touchdowns, doing it with his legs, doing it with high pointing in the back of the end zone. It's just, again, like, I think I went to practice. God, it was over 10 days. I've been to over 10 training camp practices. And I think Jalen Hurd caught 3 catches in team period. And that was all on the last day of practice. So it's just like, I can't evaluate. I personally can't. Because when you're not available, what am I evaluating? All I'm evaluating is that you're not available. I like Jalen Hurd. I think Jalen Hurd shows a ton of promise. One of the favorite things, when he made that first catch in team period, I loved it. I tweeted about it. He made that catch in team period. It was against pretty soft coverage. To be fair, it was against soft coverage. But he caught it, and he turned up field. One of the defenders tried to come, and you know how they'll come and try and swipe at the ball or hit the ball to knock it out at their defenders. That's what they do. And he wasn't having it. He just was like, get off. He looked like, I made the analogy like almost like a wild bull or a wild bronco or something. Like you touched him, and he was like, get the hell off me. He's like, don't touch me. And he just ran like that and turned up field like that. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think that's a lot of the things that fans have come to like from Jalen Hurd is that when we have seen him, he looks aggressive. He looks angry when he plays. He kind of has that physicality when he plays. Remember that touchdown that he had? I think it was like a little dump off in the flat against the Cowboys, and he turns up field and squares up with one of the Cowboys defenders and just plows straight into him and just lowered his shoulder, lowered his head, tried to run him over. He's a physical guy. So it was good to see that. But again, I only saw 3 catches. In double-digit days at 49ers training camp. So that's the biggest thing with Hurd is I think he's just got to be available. So if he doesn't, so this is part of it. It's like if I'm a general manager and I'm Kyle and I'm trying to keep certain guys on my roster and or practice squad, Jalen Hurd might be a guy that I try to somehow swing back around to my practice squad because the rest of the league knows what Jalen Hurd is. He hasn't played in 2 years. He's barely, if a team did a search on practice reports, they would see that Jalen Hurd has practiced less than he's just been not available for practice more than he's been available. So those all kinds of things might lead to getting him back on the practice squad because I feel like there's 5 wide receivers that have made the case. I feel pretty damn confident that we have 5 guys, not 5 guys at Burger Joint. We have 5 guys on this team I feel confident in. So that's Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Trent Sherfield, Mohamed Sanu. Those 5 making the roster. Stamp it. Do whatever you need to do. Those guys are making the roster. Like, it's just happening. Those 5. And so typically the 49ers keep 6 wide receivers. They have kept 7 in the past. But they're likely going to keep 3 quarterbacks, which probably takes away from one of those wide receiver spots. So therefore, who's getting that last spot? Is it Hurd? Is it Richie James? Who's it going to be? Nasimba Webster? Who's it going to be? Who's going to get that last spot? So we'll see. I feel like Hurd is trending towards practice squad. It's just what I feel like, just based on availability. Hasn't played a preseason snap yet. We'll see. I hope we see him against the Raiders. We'll see. We understand that a lot of people want him to be successful, and we want him to get an opportunity. So we'll see. Good. We got dueling coaching questions going back and forth. Shout out Coach Timo, and then we got the coach back again, my guy. Oh, we could talk about this because I think the coach is going to get me all riled up again. So the coach said, can we please finally try Jalen Moore at right guard? Why haven't we done that? Or tried Hasty at returner? Ooh, that's interesting. Think those are good fits. Thoughts? I have a very thought out answer for you, Coach, about Jalen Moore at right guard. I really, really do. So I'm gonna try and get into it really quickly. So Jalen Moore, this is my scouting report on Jalen Moore out of Western Michigan. So Jalen Moore out of Western Michigan, he was a pro. He excelled in pass blocking. He was a left tackle at Western Michigan. He excelled in pass blocking because he was explosive out of his stance. He had good depth in his pass set. He had wide base, good leverage. He knew how to attack when he needed to. He knew how to turn defenders upfield. He knew how to drive them down if they countered inside. He's just a good tackle. he's good at playing in space. One thing that people need to understand, being a tackle is severely different than being a guard or a center. It's just different. It's different technique. It's different philosophies. You're on an island a lot more as a tackle. One of the deficiencies of Jalen Moore's game was run blocking. He didn't have great run fits. He doesn't have a ton of power. We've seen him have a couple pancakes and things like that, but those mostly came on combo blocks, double teams. When it comes to just digging a guy out and getting a guy out and just being forceful as an offensive lineman, I would say he was more on the opposite side of essentially saying how good he is as a pass blocker. So considering that since he showed up at camp, he's only played left tackle. He has not played interior offensive line, at least all the days I was at camp, because that's all I was watching. I was watching offensive line like as much as I could. So the biggest thing with Jalen Moore is I still think he's best suited as a tackle. I think those were his traits coming out. I think there was a lot of perception that he could come down and kick into guard, which is the case sometimes. But I really like him. I really like him at tackle. And I want to keep him at tackle, especially this year. Trent, we saw what happened when Trent got dinged up a little bit early. I want to keep him there. I just want to keep him there. Keep working your pass set technique. Keep being comfortable on an island in the NFL. Keep doing that. And the flip side of that is I don't think Jalen Moore is better than Brunskill. I know Brunskill is going to continue to get this wave of negativity that comes after him because he doesn't like have these insanely crazy pancake blocks and he doesn't, just completely dominate people, and he will lose. He will lose sometimes. But Brunskill is very consistent. He wins with technique. He's got good speed, and he's better than Jalen Moore right now at right guard. I would say there's no other, based on everything that I've seen in camp, there is no other person on this current roster that I would feel comfortable with having at right guard. Oh gosh, I got dueling super chats going. How does this work? How does this work? I know I'm gonna lose one of them. Appreciate Coach. I'm trying to navigate the super chat timer. Oh gosh. All right, I'm gonna throw you up, Ego. I'm gonna try and get back to you, James. I see you, James. I'm gonna try and get you up very soon. Gives me a little bit more time with you, James. Ego says, hey, remember a few weeks ago I hinted at Kyle using a possible Breeze Hill hype or type of offense, and Jimmy and Trey doesn't seem so outlandish now. No, it doesn't, Ego. It doesn't, especially with them alluding to it, especially with what was it? Jimmy Garoppolo talked to Drew Brees at Chargers practice about the dynamic of the dual thing. Again, it's not my philosophy. I'm not a dual quarterback guy. I'm of the camp. You got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. I don't personally like it. I wouldn't go about structuring it that way. I don't know. Maybe I would have a different story if I'm in that building and I understood what was going on, but I'm not. So yeah, a couple weeks ago, I really wasn't about it. I'll be honest with you, I'm still not about it, especially if it's like a weird situation where like you're pulling Jimmy out and you're putting in Trey Lance for like a wildcat formation, or I'm not the biggest fan of it. Historically, throughout my time of being an evaluator, not the biggest fan of the dual QB system. I'd rather just one. Pick one. If it's Jimmy, go with Jimmy. If it's Trey, go Trey. That's just my vibe. It's just my vibe. Let's see. Now we get to you, James. Again, shout out all you guys on YouTube for the super chats. I really appreciate it. So James says, if Kyle waited on Pettis to show up, why can't he do the same for Hurd? Well, he is. He 100% is. He has. He like literally, literally what that's James. That's what Kyle has done. That's why he's still here. But the unfortunate thing is when you lose a season or a year of playing time, you're losing that equity. You're losing that ability to put stuff on tape. You're losing that ability. You're losing opportunity. You're losing that. So with Pettis, he was available. He fell out of favor just because he wasn't performing the way that Kyle and this offense wanted them to perform. So he fell out without even practice or with practicing. The difference is Jalen Hurd is he's not practicing a ton. But I don't know if this is Kyle and he has like some master plan for Jalen Hurd. Like I said, if he wants to keep him stashed on the practice squad, because if Jalen Hurd makes it around to the practice squad, you can protect him, meaning no one can take him and poach him from you. So that if Kyle could do that and finesse the system where he still believes in Jalen Hurd, but he can stash him on the practice squad and then use him as a protected practice squad candidate so he can't get poached, he wins. Because then you can elevate two guys up to the active roster every week. So technically, you could keep 6 wide receivers, but still have Jalen Hurd on the practice squad and bring him up every week as a protected practice squad player. That's where I kind of see Hurd's path, because if there's another injury, if one of these guys gets hurt, Hurd would be a perfect guy if he's available to come up and step in. So I'd really, really like that. Like if that's how we could do it, and if Kyle could somehow maneuver that, where we get him on the practice squad, we protect him so no one could poach him, and then we elevate him each week and just bring him up and down. And if an injury happens, he gets elevated full time. Like, so that's what I would like. I would like that. If he actually wins out, that's the thing. How do you win out a job on the 53 when just not available to play? And shout out Coach Timo. Shout out Coach Timo. Coach, you are the this is the most anyone has ever done a super chat for me. So I'm indebted to you forever, Coach Timo. Both the coaches have been hooking your boy up. I appreciate you guys a lot. I really do. So shout out Coach Timo for that. Woo! We see you, Timo. Woo! Get Timo into the Hall of Fame of the SF Niners fan chat. Let's go. We see you. So Coach Timo says, return teams will depend a lot on who gets cut or not. One surprise possibility. Can you see Hurd returning punts? Interesting thought, don't you think? I do. I think that's an interesting thought if he was available. So one of the things with returning punts is we've seen that group multiple days in practice, because they work on it almost every day pre-practice. They kind of go through special teams walkthroughs, things like that. And the guys that were out there when I was at training camp returning punts were Brandon Ayuk. They had Mohamed Sanu returning punts. They had Raheem Mostert returning punts. They had guys like Craycraft, Nasimba Webster. But the two that stood out to me were Sanu and Mostert, because those are two guys I'd be like, no. We need those guys as healthy as possible. So So that's the thing. Hurd hasn't practiced doing any punts. Even when he was healthy, he wasn't available. He wasn't there to do it, or they didn't put him there and do it. So I like the thought process of it. But like I said, they actually haven't executed that in practice. So I don't know how much of a viability it is. It really seems like Brandon Ayuk is going to be the primary punt returner for this team coming up. So that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. But it is an interesting thought. It really is an interesting thought because he is such a dynamic player. He's such a dynamic athlete. Just us 49er fans are like, we are rooting for Jalen Hurd so much. Again, I've been doing this this is my 4th season, guys. This is now going to be my 4th season doing the page, covering the team. And I've never seen a fan base rally around a player like Jalen Hurd. It's pretty cool to watch. It's really cool to watch. But I've never seen a fan base rally around a guy who's only played in one preseason game. But that's how exciting he is. That's really how exciting he is as a player. All right. My internet looks like it's going crazy right now, per usual. Apologies if that's happening. Please don't kick me out of the stream. Please don't kick me out of the stream. Oh, this internet is so terrible. I don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. Come on. Damn. Spinning wheel of death on the street. Am I back? Am I back? Are you guys still here? Do you see me? That's right. I got that Walmart connection, bro. Oh man, it is so bad. It is so bad. They just kicked me from my own stream. But I'm glad I'm back. Where is that dang question? I was just about to answer it. Here we go. All right. Are we back? Are we back? I think we're back. I don't know if we're back. I think we're back. That Walmart connection, that McDonald's Wi-Fi, whatever you call it. I got the worst internet in the world. Shout out AT&T. You guys make my life. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it, but shout out AT&T. My goodness. Audio's okay, but blurry as fuck. Yep, sounds about right. Sounds like my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is god awful. Oh my god. It is so bad. The dollar store signal, ooh, keep it coming. I got Walmart. I got them saying I'm stealing my neighbor's Wi-Fi. We got dollar store signal. We got the Walmart Wi-Fi. Facts. It's all facts, man. It's all facts, man. Oh, Don Burries is even piling on. Get out of here, Don. Don said, got that 49er internet connection always comes up short. Okay. I like that one, Don. Good job, Don. You get a point for that one. My goodness. James asks, how much for that Montana picture? This one right here. This thing, you can't really see it on Instagram. It's right there in the corner. This is signed by Joe Montana right here. It's signed by Joe Montana. Not only is it signed by Joe Montana in this dope gold pen, do you want to know what it says? Do you want to know what he wrote? He also wrote something. And I love it. It literally makes me so like it's sad, but I believe it makes it so unique. So this thing right here, this Joe Montana picture that he signs it Joe Montana, and then right below his signature, he says, I left my heart in San Francisco. This thing is goated, man. This thing is goated. Like it's cool. It's cool that it says, it has his autograph on it. I think it's exponentially cooler that he wrote, I left my heart in San Francisco. Like, if that doesn't tug on your heartstrings as a 49er fan, like, whew, like when he signed that, like, how many things have you ever seen signed by Joe Montana that says I left my heart in San Francisco? Like, that thing is goated. Don't come to my house, I'll come get you. Oh my goodness. I love that thing though. I love that thing. Trying to get to the game. Trying to get to the game on Sunday. Yes. He wrote this. Where did it go? Joe wrote this. That's what he wrote. And always shout out my Instagram folks, but shout out you guys for sticking through the live after I got kicked out. I got kicked out my own stream. They stuck around and roasted me about my Wi-Fi. All right. Oh yeah, spam in the chat. Blocked. All right. So shout out all the homies on YouTube sending the super chats. Of course, when we got like 6 streams going, super chats get the priority for the questions. I'm going to start looking at Instagram for a couple questions. In the meantime, I saw someone ask this a while back. I thought it was a good question. I'm going to try and find it. It was El Guapo K-Rod. El Guapo K-Rod wrote, does Jimmy have the same chemistry with Sherfield that Trey does? And my answer to that would be no. I would say that Trent Sherfield and Trey Lance have had a visible connection every single day of camp. Every single day, Trey Lance is finding Trent Sherfield on big plays. So that's one of the big reasons why, like, I'm super big on acquiring Trent Sherfield in my fantasy leagues and my dynasty leagues, at least. He might not get a ton of opportunity early, but if Trey gets in and Trey starts, I think you see Trey and Trent Sherfield go like this at the same time. I think they are very intertwined. I think their rapport with one another is just going to continue. And he's still Trent still catches passes from Jimmy, um, and does all that kind of stuff. But it was just whenever Trey and Trent Sherfield were practicing together, it was fire, because Trey would find Trent Sherfield constantly, 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 constantly. The way they talk about each other, you can tell there's a rapport there. I think they're the same kind of guys. I think they're the same kind of guys mentally. Trey's very focused, very business-like. He's about his work. He's about his business. That's it. He's a young guy. I think Trent Sherfield is like that. I think Trent Sherfield has that similar mentality, that similar business-like. This is a job. I'm here to do this and do that. So the two of them combined, I think, are going to. If you like Trey and Lance, you have to like Trent Sherfield. I'm going to be adamant about that. I think you really have to. Because I think once Trey plays, you're going to see a whole lot of Trent Sherfield. You're going to see a whole lot of Trent Sherfield. Big J asks, how many rings do the Detroit Lions have, everyone? I don't know, Don Burr. Tell us how many rings the Lions have. Please tell us, Don. Please tell us, Don, how many championships the Detroit Lions have. Where's Don? Where is he? Don, you are requested. 0. Bang, bang, nana, gang. Hey, shout out Don for answering the question. Shout out Big J for setting it up. Shout out Don Burr for coming through and answering the question. We like that. Teamwork, everyone. Teamwork makes the dream work. God, could you imagine being a Detroit Lions fan? Oh man, that's not even a shot at Don. That's just a fact. Could you imagine that? What? Jeez. The coach is back. Any news on free safety news? Tart or HaHa Clinton Dix? How's Tart looking? Also, it's time to realize how much Greenlaw has grown. Pay him early. He's special. Ooh. Let's go. So, yes, we have news on free safety. The free safety news is that Tart is back. Tart is working with the twos, but he's looking good. He's looking healthy. I talked about it earlier. One of my boys is locked in with Tart. I won't name names or give it up unless he wants me to. But for the meantime, they talk pretty regularly, and Tart's ready. Tart's ready to go. So I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for Tart. I'm excited to see what he does. Again, it's a prove it year. He's been seeing it all. He understands that everyone's written him off. He understands that half his fan base has already forgot about him, forgot that he's been on the team. I think it's motivated him. I think it's absolutely motivated Jaquiski Tart, and I'm excited to see what he does with that motivation. Again, it's a prove it year. He's not getting paid very much. It's on a 1-year deal. This is the year. He's got to stack a lot of good games together to get, I would say, his last big paycheck. That's what he's fighting for. So not only is he personally motivated based on all those factors, I think he is also motivated by the fact that this is it. He's got to get in. He's got to show that he can win in a competition against Tavon Wilson, Talanoa Hufanga. If he can win that spot, get back into the starting role, and then produce and be healthy and be available, I'm excited about what Tart can bring. I really, really am. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. Jason Aponte has been all over Tart and like his return, and I think we're starting to see it come to fruition. Again, we got to see him healthy, got to stay healthy. But when Tart's healthy, he performs for the most part. So just gotta get our guy healthy. Ha Clinton Dix, I haven't personally seen enough to have much of an opinion either way. Again, I like the signing. I like the veteran presence. I like better than Tony Jefferson personally. But again, they had signed him, I think, that last day of training camp that I was at. So I haven't, and I didn't study him too much against the Chargers. So I just haven't done a ton on but I like the what he is and what he brings and his ability, what he's done in the past. I think he could be a guy here. We'll see though. We'll see. Guys like Jaron Maiden are playing well. Talano Hufanga playing well. Obviously Tavon Wilson. Now Tart is back. Someone's going to get cut from that spot too now. So going to be interesting. Coach also said, it's time to realize how much Greenlaw has grown. Pay him early. Greenlaw has grown a lot. I would say he's grown a lot. He had a lot of flash play early, but he also had some struggles early. But that athletic ability that he has, like these guys, like when I had Emmanuel Mosley on, one of the two guys that he said to look out for. Oops, where'd it go? There it is. One of the two guys he said to look out for were Flanagan Fowles and Al Shire. But I feel like he said that because Dre Greenlaw has already arrived in that sense. Like essentially what the coach is saying. He's special. And so when Emmanuel Mosley was talking about up and comers, like him not saying Greenlaw, as I think of it an admission of saying Greenlaw's arrived. He's here already. Like he's done his job. He's proven his worth. He's taken the steps from year 1 to year 2. Now we're going to see it translate to year 3. And I'm excited for it. I think Dre Greenlaw has got really solid speed. I think that's one of my favorite things about him, his ability to go sideline to sideline, do all that good stuff. Pay him early. I'm sure. Let's hashtag pay Dre Greenlaw. Let's go. Hashtag let's get it started. Hashtag pay Dre Greenlaw. Let's go. We're getting all the boys paid. That's our vibe. That's what we do. We get our boys paid. So I'm about it. Keep him around. I like it. AJ Marino. Shout out AJ. Shout out Coach. Shout out Coach Timo. Man, you guys are making me feel real nice. Appreciate you guys. AJ said, "Are you ready for the Raiders W this weekend?" Hell yes, I am. I mean, you can't really tell, but that's the Battle of the Bay flag from 2018, the 34-3 butt whooping. I'm so ready. I talked about it at the beginning of the show. Raiders week is fantastic. I don't even care. Like, if it's totally a preseason game, it's the third preseason game of the year. I feel like it's a regular season game because it's the Raiders. I have to be personally in my top form to be able to talk as much mess as possible to every Raider fan in existence. That's just how we work. I mean, if you're from the Bay, that's just how it works. It's just how it works. Oh, I read this wrong. That's my boy. He said, "Are you ready for the Raiders W this weekend?" AJ. No. We're ready for the Niners W. We're ready for AJ, I appreciate you, buddy. Are you ready? The Raiders ain't getting that dub. They're not getting the dub because we own the Bay. Let's go. I'm really excited for this game. I'm really excited. I'm always ready, AJ. I'm always ready because You know the vibes. You know the damn vibes, AJ. Let's go. Oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this game. Last time, 2018, that game was epic, man. That game, get out of here, man. You want to start? Valley Niners, don't. Hey, man, we call you the Nevada Raiders from now on. Let's go. Shout out my boy AJ though. We see you. We see my guy. We see my guy. Hey, you with the 22? AJ, you wildin', boy. You wildin'. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. But that's the thing. That's the thing. Back to 2018 though. That game was so vibes. That like the vibes at Levi's. So Levi Stadium had a pretty poor reputation. It had a pretty poor reputation. I'd been to games in 2017. That led up to that, games before that. I remember we didn't like the Chip Kelly era. Not too many people were showing up because we didn't have a good product, and we had just moved. All that is, you know, the vibes. I don't have to re-explain it. But that Raider game, that game, the 2018 Battle of the Bay, the last Battle of the Bay before the Raiders decided they didn't like the Bay Area anymore and they wanted to give the Bay Area to the 49ers. Okay, we'll take it. Sure. Fine. That game was the first time I feel like, you know, we kind of got over the hangover of Candlestick, of the shock of not being at Candlestick. I mean, Candlestick's right behind me. Like, Candlestick is legendary. Candlestick is absolutely legendary. But I really feel like the first game that ever meant anything to be played in that stadium was that game, was that Raider game versus the Raiders, obviously. But it was, I got to get to this one before it disappears on me. So that was the first time I'd ever seen Levi's in like its glory. Like, oh, this could be a home. This could be a home for us. And guess what? I feel like the players felt that vibe because we came out with Nick Mullins, never playing a damn game before, undrafted free agent, coming up against Derek Carr and all those boys, and slaughtered them. That was a great day. That was a fun day. I skipped out work early. Don't tell my former boss. But, yeah, I was like, I got to get to this game. The coach says Eric and Kinlaw seem to be having underwhelming camps, especially Eric. He seems disinterested and slow at times on the field. Am I wrong? Kinlaw, bust. So this is the thing with these two. And I understand what you're saying and like where that is coming from. But again, we'll talk about it all the time. The greatest ability in the NFL is availability, and you got to be able to play. Now, we're not talking games yet, right? We're really not talking games. We're talking preseason. Take it with a grain of salt. But with Eric, he was on the sideline for a big part of training camp. Same with Kinlaw. Kinlaw just hasn't been getting reps. He's just not available. I wouldn't say that it's disinterest. I would say, again, I think this whole group as a whole is just so micro-focused on getting to week one healthy. And if they can get to week one healthy with Kinlaw, with Eric Armstead, with D Ford, with Nick Bosa, with Samson Ebukam, again, we just lost Mo Hurst. We got to stay healthy. And this D line, I'm telling you, I know you guys already know. But this D line is going to be a huge factor into the 49ers' success throughout the entire year. So we need this O-line healthy. We need it. We need them here. I wouldn't call it disinterested, but they have been so on and off in regards to being on the actual field that it's always going to be hard to get in a rhythm. It's always going to be difficult to get into a rhythm in those types of situations when you're trying to stack days together, trying to stack plays together, whatever, what have you. You got to be on the field to do that. So they just haven't been. They haven't been available. So Eric disinterested. I don't know. I feel like Eric is Eric. I think Eric is Eric. And is Kinlaw a bust? I'm not ready to say that at all yet. Not ready to say that at all, especially after a solid year one. He had a pretty good year one. I'm hoping that he stacks more onto year two, but again, got to be available. So it's hard for me at this point to give a fair assessment, at least from watching, if that makes sense. Like, because when I was there, Eric Armstead didn't practice the whole time I was at training camp until the last day. Kinlaw got maybe 1 or 2 practices in. That was a fun practice, though. I'll talk about that a little bit. So the first day of pads, it was Kinlaw versus Alex Mack. Oh my gosh, that was one of the most fun days I've ever had watching football in my life. It was the first day of padded practice for the 49ers during training camp. I had so much fun because I was watching Alex Mack and Kinlaw just go back and forth all practice. Again, it was first day of pads. So the O-line and D-line finally get to actually put hands on each other, like really put hands on each other. And the very first play, very first team period of pads, you got Kinlaw in the A gap, essentially shaded over Alex Mack. Alex Mack planted Kinlaw on his back, like just ultimate pancake. And again, as a center, as an offensive lineman, I get so happy about pancakes. Pancakes like literally like give me this like jolt of excitement. And even if it is Kinlaw, like that just speaks to what Mac is. Again, working his technique, working his power. Mac's a big guy. And Mac just planted Kinlaw on his back. Very first play of the first padded team period of practice. Second play, Kinlaw didn't like that. So Kinlaw, again, straight up on Mac. And they got, it's like a bunch of bulls just going at each other, getting tussled up, and they had to be separated. Both O-line, D-lines come together. Again, these are the first 2 plays of padded practice of training camp team period. First 2 plays. It is Alex Mack and Javon Kinlaw. So I loved that. So I'm not going to talk about other people's opinions. I'm just not, because I trust my opinion more than most. And one of the things that we saw from that very first day of padded practice was we were looking at Alex Mack, me and Jordan Elliott, that is, and we were looking at each other and saying, this is what elite center play looks like. We were seeing it. You were seeing Alex Mack pancake guys like Kinlaw. He was helping his guards like Brunskill and Lincoln if they got maybe a little bit of interior pressure. He was stopping plays dead in their tracks to adjust protections and do all different kinds of things. So I saw what I saw. Mac's going to be good for us. The narrative that apparently is floating around there, well, maybe you should. Nah, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say nothing. All I know is I watch the offensive line literally every practice, specifically Mac and all those guys, and that's not my takeaway. So I'll say that. So I like Mac. I'm a big Mac guy. Big Mac guy. All right, fam. I appreciate all the questions today. This might be the most active Q&A we have ever had. Shout out all you guys. Shout out all you guys. This has been fun. I apologize to my Instagram folks. If they had super chat on Instagram, you might be a little bit more involved. But let me look at IG. Let's see. Are these hats sold anywhere in the Bay Area? I'm not sure. Just check out Residency. You probably order online. Do you think Lance finna start against the Raiders? No. I would imagine it's the same thing. I'd actually hope to see Jimmy get more than one series. So I would actually like to see Jimmy a quarter at least. I would like to see Jimmy get more than just a series, even if it is a long one. Moody, don't you dare slander my king, Trent Sherfield. I took him everywhere in Dynasty. I got him in 7 Dynasty leagues right now. I'm sitting on Trent Sherfield gold. I'm sitting on a gold mine of Trent Sherfield stock, and I am here for it. We to the moon. Get out the way, Dogecoin. Get out the way, Bitcoin. Get out the way. It's Trent Sherfield coin. Let's go. We got Shercoin. Let's go. Get those stocks up. Get those stocks up. Trent Sherfield to the moon, baby. Trent Sherfield to the moon. Let's see. So next up, Mike says, do you think Trey Sermon will take over for him anytime soon? I really don't. I think it's much more of because we know, like, just look at what Kyle has done since 2017. Since 2017, he just has a RBBC, running back by committee. That's what he does. He loves using matchups. Like one of my favorite things from the podcast, which I'll reference till the end of time, that he went on with Peter Schrager and Sean McVay, Rams head coach. He did that podcast. One of my favorite stories that came from that podcast was, do you guys remember that 2019 game against Arizona where Jeff Wilson ran the angle route out of the backfield? Jimmy hit him in stride. 49ers win the game on that play. So if you guys remember that play, right, it's like it's cemented into my memory of like how special that 2019 year was. But hearing Kyle talk about it was like, what the hell? Because this is, and I'm going to try to replay the story as best I can from my memory. But what he was talking about was, right, that was the last play of the game, right? That won the game to Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson had taken himself out of the game at halftime. Jeff Wilson took himself out of the game because he was sick. He wasn't feeling good. So Jeff Wilson goes, "Coach, take me out. I'm not feeling. I don't know." Apparently, Jeff Wilson got sick in the game. Didn't feel good. So he stopped. He wasn't playing. So Kyle's talking about how they had taken a timeout, and that was the play they wanted to run. They wanted to run the angle route out of the backfield to the running back. And he said that he called Jeff Wilson to go in. And he said he's watching Jeff Wilson in the huddle. And Jeff Wilson is like stretching. Jeff Wilson is like doing high knees to get warm because he hasn't played all half because he took himself out because he was sick. And Kyle was like he's like, what am I doing? This is Kyle talking. Kyle was like, what am I doing? Like, am I making a terrible decision here? Putting in this guy who's been sick, who took himself out of the game? Like, what am I doing? And we know what happens, but the thing that's funny to me about that is, like, in a moment where you had to have it and it had to be a victory, you needed the dub, and you knew what play you wanted to call, and it was to a running back, and you choose Jeff Wilson, who's already taken himself out of the game, hasn't played in a hat. Like, it's just like, so to that question, do I think Trey Sermon will take over for him? I don't think Coach Timo, I'll say goodbye to you. Shout out my guy, Coach Timo. We see you. Have a good rest of your day, my guy. But the thing is it's running back by committee. It's situational. It depends on what the situation calls for. It depends, like, if it's a short yardage play where, like, we need to really burst through the tackles, that could be Sermon or Hasty. If it's it could be Jeff Wilson and Wayne Gallman. If it's a standard first down, it's probably going to be Mostert. So I really think he's going to it's going to be a rotation, and it's going to be a hot hand situation. Basically, who's got the hot hand? And he's unpredictable a bit. He's a bit unpredictable. So that's the point, is he's unpredictable when it comes to the running backs. He doesn't have a set rotation. He doesn't have set anything. And the point of the Jeff Wilson story was to speak to that, where in a game-winning moment when he had to have it and needed it, he put in a guy again, and he questioned himself. He questioned his own thought process in real time. Is that Bill Thieu in the chat? We see you, bro. We see you. My guy. All right. Couple more questions. Two more questions, and then I think I'm gonna kick rocks. Shout out YouTube gang today. YouTube gang has been on point today. Thieu. My guy, it's been a minute. My guy. Oh, we got the Raiders. I got two Raider homies in the chat. Oh, you guys are going to get waxed. I'm sorry to tell you. You guys getting waxed. Good. You know the vibes, though. You already knew that. Arden Key's going to have 3 sacks. Just watch. We released Shalik Calhoun. Arden Key's going to have 3 sacks, and we're going to watch Raider Nation completely melt down. If Arden Key comes out, gives us 3 sacks. That's what we want. We want Arden Key to come out and give us 3 sacks against Colton Miller and whatever Hodge pasted together offensive line that they have. I will say, Brandon Thorne, the offensive line guru, posted a rep of your right guard just demolishing someone. I have no idea who it was. I have no idea who he is. But that right guard put a lick on someone. That was pretty nice. But I hope this is the Arden Key revenge game. Arden Key's coming in hot. I wanted it to be the Mo Hurst revenge game too. I just wanted to see Mo Hurst and Arden Key go off against the Raiders. Fortunately, Mo Hurst got the high ankle, but Arden Key's coming, boys. Arden Key's coming. So that's going to be nice. But I'm ready for this game on Sunday against the Raiders. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. The Solomon Thomas revenge game. I forgot about that. Solomon Thomas is coming back to Levi's. We love Solly. Every year was year of the Solomon. Every year was year of the Solomon. It just never happened. Yeah, Solomon Thomas is coming back. 49ers, number 3 overall pick, 2017. The 49ers, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan's first ever draft pick. The one that they took over Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, a lot of guys. But it happens. And my Instagram live died. Good times. Great times. All right, guys. I think I might call it. Hour 36. I'm definitely calling it. That was fun, though. That was fun. It was fun because of you guys. You guys sit through my dollar store Wi-Fi, my Walmart modem, my McDonald's Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it. I have the worst internet service in history. It means I don't have clear video. It means I got choppy video. You guys still sit through it. You still engage. You still ask me questions. Man, you guys make it a lot of fun. Big J, EMA, the coach, Coach Timo. I saw my boy AJ was in here. I know I'm forgetting a couple. Don Burr always holding it down for the Lions faithful. So you guys made the show fun today for me. Again, like this was by far the craziest super chat day I've ever had. So that was dope. Again, you're helping me support mine and my own every time you do that. So we really appreciate it. And you guys have good questions too. Always have good questions. So thank you as always. But I think it is time that we go our separate ways. Probably be back tomorrow. Maybe a similar situation. Maybe we do a Q&A again. But that was fun. Shout out you all. Again, if you're new, please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we'll do it. Do we got a bet going down? In the chat? What's the bet? I want to be a part of this. I see the coach and Jets gang. We got a wager? Is this a Zach Wilson, Trey Lance wager? I want to know. What is it? Tell me. What are you wagering? Corey Davis better than your whole wide receiver core? Oh my gosh. Oh, can I get in on that bet? Zach better than Lance? Oh, can I get on that bet? Sheesh. Let's do a big old bet right now. What are we betting? What are we betting? He said Corey Davis better than our entire wide receiver core. Wow. Corey Davis? You're gonna die on the Corey Davis hill? We're going after Corey Davis, huh? All right. Okay. Do you, boo-boo? Do you? I'll take that bet too, man. I really will. I'll absolutely take that bet. Zach better than Lance? I mean, based on what? Money or push-ups? Ooh, well, I'm trying to get back in the gym. Maybe push-ups could be a good one. Trying to get my fit on. Ooh! Oh, are you gonna do it, Jets gang? Are you gonna do it? $100. That Lance is better than Wilson. You gonna do that? Oh, he said 100. It is. Ooh, so what's the parameters though? There's got to be parameters. Now I'm just gonna set up the rules. What's the rules gonna be? Because we know Zach Wilson's starting week 1. We know that. We know that. We don't know when Trey Lance is gonna play because we have a veteran in front of him. Stats and QBR. Ooh. Ooh. TD INT ratio for the season. Oh no, that's a tough thing. If they were both starting week 1, it'd be a little easier. But it would have to be anything would have to be kind of prorated in the sense. I don't know. You guys figure it out. Both of you. 8-game minimum. Ooh, he said it's a bet. Stats and QBR has to be 8 games played for it to count. So meaning, let's say Trey Lance only starts 7 games, the bet goes defunct, right? 8 games. Oh. Drop a handshake emoji in the chat if you agree. Both of you. Again, this is a digital receipt right here. So we'll be able to pull this up in the future. Absolutely. So 8 games. You guys drop the handshake emoji from both parties is the official ceiling of an online bet. It doesn't count unless the handshake emojis come out from both parties. Oh, we got one. And this is the bet. 8-game minimum, stats, QBR, $100, handshake from the coach. We got one handshake and we got the parameters of the bet. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I'm going to take a picture of this so I can remember it forever. Jets gang, I hope you stick around. I hope you stick around throughout the year. I'm taking a picture of it. Screenshot. Captured. Let's go. Great job. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see this one. Really. Really excited to see this one. I'm pretty sure it's TD INT ratio, right? Over 8 games. Obviously, QBR is involved. Let's go. Coach, give me a new Wi-Fi plug. Let's go. We're going to give me Comcast, man. Give me that Xfinity Wi-Fi because mine is, God, it's so bad. So bad. I love it. I love it. I got you both. So we'll see. We'll see if we come back in 17 games and we get Coach and the Jets back in the same room. And hey, if we're doing this, we'll somehow get you two a part of a show. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to get you two both involved. And it's got to be going all year long. It's got to be ongoing. I like it. I love it. Shout out the Jets gang, the coach doing work. Love it. All right, guys, I'm going to head out here. I love that we just ended on a bet. So the bet was Trey Lance versus Zach Wilson. $100 bet on the line. It is 8-game minimum, meaning Trey Lance would have to start at least 8 games. Starts under, doesn't count. Based on stats, QBR, winner gets $100. Let's go. Let's go. That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Minimum, what, 150 pass attempts? No, that might be too much. I don't know. I like it, though. I like the spirit of the bet. We got a week if we really want to iron it out. We got the baseline down. TD, interception, QBR, highest number wins. Let's go. Let's go. Love it. Love it. Let's go. The coach, man. The coach is a legend. Yes, coach. Hey, I'll tell you what, coach. When I get this figured out, you are my first, my friend. You are my first call-in. You get the first call-in ever to the show. When we go up, you get the number one. And then by that time, hopefully we could get Jets gang and the coach in here. We'll get some real stuff going. Love it. Oh, he said, don't be hiding. Season start, coach. I love it, guys. We got to keep this going all year. Got to keep this going all year. All right. Hour 45. I got to get the hell out of here. Again, shout out all you guys. I love the bet. We're going to keep this going. We got screenshotted. We will remember. We will remember. All right, guys. I'm out. Appreciate you all. Today was fun. It was a good one. Thanks, guys.